Welcome to
So,
Knackerbox Garage,
here's one of the calipers.
a
So I've
Scratchy
taken it
Pants
apart. I've
production.
pulled the seals out. I've got to get into the caliper body itself and pull the seal out from inside. They were pretty crusty in there actually. The pistons are in good nick. There's a couple of little deposit build-ups. Like there's something there. I've been scuffing it with a... These are hard anodized, so you can use a Scotch-Brite pad on them without damaging the anodizing, which is great. They've cleaned up pretty well. I'll give them another wash out. I've spent the afternoon, my computer's just closed, trying to find a rebuild kit or a seal kit, because really I kind of toyed backwards and forwards, like do I leave them, do I clean them, do I leave them. The fluid in here was brown and sludgy and rusty, so they need cleaning. The pads are pretty good. They look alright. They've been used, but they look alright. And I've got decent pins. I've ordered a new spring. I've ordered new bellows for the master cylinder cover because that looks weird. Yeah, it is weird. So I've ordered a new one of those. I've got the master cylinder rebuild kit coming, so that's good. I will let these dry out overnight, wipe them up, clean them again, blow them through. The seal kit's going to come next week. I'll carefully dig the seals out with my dental pick. Clean these out. Yeah, and then give them a bit of a scrub. May run them through the, well, I don't know, do I run them through the dishwasher? That seems a bit silly. I have yet to check the bleed nipples. Hopefully they're good. Anyway, I will, when I get those, I'll rebuild them together. I'll do one at a time. The Allen bolts are pretty good. They just need wire brushing really, and then I'll put them together with a bit of copper slip for anti-corrosion. Yeah, that's it. I searched, like I said, I've searched high and low for a seal kit. My usual suppliers didn't have any, and then I thought I'll try Harper's. Harper's got a bunch of them, so if you need F08 Brembo seal kits for 38mm Brembo piston, of which they are, Harper's the people right now. So happy hunting. Okay, so while I'm waiting for the seals kits to come, I've put both calipers on, and the reason that I've put both calipers on is I've got the stuff to make the hose. And it looks like this is a homemade hose as well, actually, because that's a screw-on fitting, very similar to Van Hill's. It actually looks like the Van Hill's hosing that would have been on, or that I have on Lucy. So, you know, that's interesting. So I've got to do that crossover hose. So while I'm waiting for the seal kits, I'm just going to make that. So I will put that on there. I'll get the other fit in, and we'll just kind of marry those up and see how it goes. So you should be looking at, hopefully the camera's looking the right way. I think it is. Let's bring you forward a little bit. Let's try that. So hopefully you're looking at the brake. This brake caliper's got nothing in it. It's got no pistons or pads. I've just bolted it together to put this to play with the fittings. So here's from the master cylinder comes down. I'm going to piggyback a second fitting on top, which is then going to loop over to here. Actually, that could come way down with a second piece of braided line. Probably wants to be about that long, actually. Yeah, there we go. That's where we're going to do it, and I'm just going to mark it there. Right, so I'm going to have a little loop that goes over the top of the mudguard. Over this side, I've got another fitting, so that will come down to there, and that will be that. So what I'm going to do now is cut this. Look at the end. Yeah, that looks all right. My preferred method of doing this is with a fine blade hacksaw, and then polish it up on a grinding wheel. I don't know whether I've got a Dremel saw that I can do it with. Maybe need a junior hacksaw. I should probably go to Home Depot and get some plasterboard skim coat, because I need to do that in my ceiling. So maybe I'll do that and get a junior hacksaw. Anyway, what you typically do is wind some tape over it, mark it, cut it, and then peel back the plastic, as on this one, and then it leaves you just enough, and then you put the nut over it, you peel back the braiding, put the gland between the braiding and the Teflon, push it onto the fitting, then tighten it up, but not too tight. And you do that both ends. The hard thing is getting both ends flat, so that the fittings, you know, they're flat in the same plane and not like this, which is why you end up with a twist, which is maybe what's up with this guy. Anyway, we'll be back when I get to cutting. So here's one bit. I've cut and peeled back the end. I now need to undo the fitting, put the nut over the top, the gland on. No, that's wrong. The nut over the top. Then I've got to peel back the stainless mesh, fit the gland in between the mesh and the Teflon, put it on the fitting and tighten it up. The bit where it gets really effing fiddly, and I haven't found a really good tool to do this, but what you end up doing is you kind of want to spread the braid. I'm sure there's a really good way of doing this, but better than I'm doing it. Spread the braid out, and I do it like this because this is the only tool that I've successfully done it with before. And when you've got it all out, I know it's painful, isn't it? It's painful to watch, and trust me, when you stab yourself with the little stainless wires, it's painful to do. But what I'm trying to do is spread that out, and then, can't see because of my glasses, then you have to ease this. This goes in inside the braid, and then that's what gets pulled up against the fitting. So there's quite a bit to be done. I am going to do that and turn you off and then bring you back when I've got it all close. Is that on? There, okay, we're on. There's the collet in place. The fitting goes in. This is typically where it gets a little bit super sketchy. Try and put that in. That goes over the top. And then you tighten it up, glasses off, spin you round, pop this in the vise, soft jaws of course, I don't know what. This is where I haven't got it right. They're 11s, of course they are. And then you tighten this guy up, and it pulls it all together, and you get to a point where it's tight like that, and that is your brake hose. It's kind of that simple. I don't know whether I've got to go all the way down or not. I'm going to read the Van Hills thing, but that one I'm going to call on. I may want to pull it down. I should look at Lucy because I've done them on her. I think the gland has to come all the way to the end, I think. But I'm going to check. So rinse and repeat. There's the other one. So these now are in place. They're pretty much where they should be. I think that actually needs a bit of a tweak. So what I'm going to do, having got it seated properly, I'm just going to see if I can give it a... There we go. That's better. That's better. And when you get them tight, the secret is not to go over tight. That's going to be good. So you'll notice I gave this one a little bit more free play than that one. It was easier to get the gland nut and expose the mesh. So those two are tight now. We're going to say that they're done. Now all I need is the seal kits. The master cylinder comes on Monday, so that's tomorrow. So hopefully I'll get that done. And then the caliper kits come later in the week. Hopefully I should get this all back together for the weekend. What's gonna be the proof of the pudding will be to see if I get any leaks. I've had these, sometimes they just work great. My first one, it's just that one. I'm a little bit reticent of that one, although looking at this one, I can't get them out now. The thread engagement is roughly about the same. So I think they're gonna be okay. If you over tighten them, they leak. You're trying to just get it pulled up tightly and not too much. So I think they'll be okay. I did notice the long bolt that I have, the double bolt, the thread, it actually bottomed out. And when you look at the bolt that was in there, this one's got a 45 on it, this one hasn't. I might have to just bevel the bottom of that off a bit. Because I put a second washer on it because it bottomed out in the caliper, so I may just take a little trip to the grinder with that and just put a bevel on it, just to make it to seat a little bit better. I believe they're made out of brass. I think that's what they're made of. That's an old washer. I'm going to keep those. I can in fact I should put it in there. So that's it. Now it's just a waiting game. Seal kits. Now I'm off to Home Despot. I did cut my hose with a fine-tooth hacksaw, but not a junior. Now I'm just rambling. So this is what it's going to look like. This is a tad long. So what I may do, I'm going to see if it leaks or not. Knowing that I think this one may leak, this may be shortened down a little bit. I want to give it room though. You know, I don't want it too tight over the mud guard, and it's a bit of a hard thing to do anyway. So that's one side, there's the loop over, there's the other. The proof will be in whether it works or not. So that is that. Obviously this gets bolted up to the top, which is there. Yeah, so that should be great. No one needs the seal kits, and I'm wondering whether I should do brand new pads, and that's got pads in it. They look clean, they look good, they don't look oily, but you know, for the sake of it, I might as well order some new pads, hadn't I? They're sintered. FF443. Well, let's see how much a set of EBCs are. One of the views out of my workshop window. But the reason we're here is I've been thinking about this. And I can't help but think how it would look better if it was like that. So that means I've got to take some out. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm looking at it and I know, I'm imagining the comments, and it just looks shit. So as this was the junction, and part of this is driven by the fact that I don't think that's a particularly good joint, I'm going to take this off, shorten it down so it follows the line of that, like that. It'll be a little bit more hidden. So I'm just going to do that. Much better. Yeah, that looks neat. See, that's what I should have done in the first place. So here is the new Brembo parts, cunningly sitting on dirty pieces of tissue, but I will wipe it down. This is an old ring that's come out, so let's put that in there. Got some nice Brembo grease. I've also got one of the beautiful things about the Brembo kits are the crazy massive instruction papers you get in a variety of languages. But Bearing in mind that this kit also does the rear cylinder, it shows you how to put it all together. I think this is quite generic actually, but this is the right piston, or at least it's the same piston as the one that came out. So it goes together like that, goes on the bottom, this seal with this washer, then go over as the last thing and hold this in place with the spring. So rather than video this, I've got the cylinder here. I'm just going to have a quick wipe out with some stuff, a squirt of cleaner, and wipe out with some paper in there, just clean it all out. Then I'll grease it all up and put it back together. And then once I've got everything in place, I'll bring you back. So I've put it all back together again and not shown you, which is my way. There is, and I've got it in the vise so you can't see it. So the piston, let's show you on this one. The piston basically is held in with a washer that's got there's a washer, a rubber ring, and then a thing like this that goes over the end. And this has to be pressed in, and this socket pushes the piston in and just fits that size. So I've got it in the vise, I pushed it together, wound it in, felt it, just gave it a little bit of a tweak, pulled it out, socket came out, pistons left in. Managed to got the pivot bolt in, everything's good, works beautiful. What I have noticed is there's this little eccentric off-center pivot here which adjusts the reach. So as you move that, it adjusts the span to the bars. I found it quite wide, so I'm going to set it at the minimal setting, which is about there, and I'm going to do that up, and then we'll put it back on the bike. I am waiting for a new bellows to come for the cap because that one's a bit weird looking, but this is all done and dusted. I'm sorry I didn't show you putting the piston in, but it was one of those things that you needed 3 hands for, and you wouldn't have seen anything on the tripod anyway. Okay, so the Brembo seal kit is here. Yay! It's got the piston seals, the outer seals, 2 new bolts came in it, the joint O-ring that goes between these 2 pieces here, and everything. What I've got to do now is take this apart. I should probably pull the pins out and done all that first, but I'll break the screws, get it a little bit loose, and then pull those out. So I'm going to get that going and then bring you back. Alright, we're looking down. Here are 2 halves of my Brembo caliper. They've been cleaned out, I've taken the rings out, the piston seals, cleaned the pistons up, they're really nice, good condition. Basically this just had some dried fluid in it, so I had to clean out the drilling that goes between there and there, which is the outside port. The hydraulic fluid goes in that side. That's the transfer port. The transfer was good, the drilling down to the piston wasn't good, so I basically got a very small twist drill and just twiddled it out with my fingers, you know, like with a whatever they call it, a twiddling drill. I don't know, there's a name for it, I can't remember what it was. So the seals come, there's a little bit of grease that comes, just gonna put that inside. I've got like 3 of these, so you get rather a lot, but we'll just put that in. That goes in there. I'll put the rings in, or the piston seals, if I can get into them. There we go. Get one of these, put you in, and they're nicely all lubed up already. That's in there, so that one's in there. Got the ring seal in there, or the piston seal. This one's going in here. That's all in, that's good. Gonna have to, I don't want to have got enough in this. Yeah, there's a little bit. Just gonna smear a little bit on the edge of the piston. push you in down that far. I think I can probably get enough out of here again for one more. Yeah, there we go. I think that's enough. Then smear stuff, some on this piston, and then press you in. I only want to go down so far. Yeah, there we go. Right, clean my hands off a little bit. Now I've got these guys, the outer seal. Oops. Push the piston in. Didn't want to do that, but I got it on. So that's the outer seal on. That's pretty good. Just flip that over. We'll do the same with this guy. Then seal it around the outside edge. That's good. Piston's pressed in. That's groovy. I'm going to need a little bit of this. I'll have to open the other one. Oh, hold on. Can I squeeze out the last? Yeah. A little bit on there. A little bit on there. Now that's the bottom. I'm going to put that new O-ring on there, and then what I want to do before I put the new screws in, I just want to put a little dollop of copper slip on them, just because. So just put a little smattering on, just because we don't want the threads to gall up later. So drop you through there, and go there like that. It's that one. Just do the same with this one. A little bit of copper slip on the end. There we go. And that guy. There we go. That one's on. That's good. I'll wipe my hands so I don't want to get that. Copper slip seems to stick to everything. I mean, it's a wonderful grease, but it does tend to go everywhere. So that's the caliper. New seals. We'll just pinch him up. Because the true test will be when I put the fluid in and put it under pressure. Right, that's it. So, Guzzi twin disc conversion. Alright, here we have. I need to put the covers on, need to put the little rubbery things on here. Had a bit of a game bleeding these, to be brutally honest. This one was alright. I cracked open both bleed nipples, was pumping away, everything was good, and then I didn't really get anything. I got fluid out of this one, which is what you can see a little bit down the back of the caliper, and nothing happened on this side. So if we go around to the other side, this one was a bit of a pig actually. There was fluid in, I took the nipple out, there was fluid in, and when I pumped the lever, nothing. Absolutely nothing was coming out of it. So I pulled the nipple out, and I got a thin piece of wire and just tried rodding, and suddenly fluid. And I'm like, oh, I must have had a fragment of stuff in there. Anyway, so now, you spin. I can't do it one-handed, can I? Hold on. What can I do? This is the worst wobbly cam. Pull you up. There we go. So, goes, stops. So it works. Both sides hold the both sides hold the disc, the caliper, bite points there. So that's pretty nice. It's roughly where I like it. This feel, it doesn't go, it's not spongy either, that's it hard. So I just got to ride it now for a bit and see what that's like. And she's done. I can get her off the bench, should fire up, take her for a spin. I'm gonna plug the charger in, make sure the battery's tip top, and then just down to riding it. So twin disc conversion is done. I'll report back in a while and let you know how it goes. Everything's obviously got a bed in. I do expect that I may have to do a bit of tweaking, probably ride it a bit, and then I'll go through it and bleed it again just to be on the safe side, just in case there is any air leaks. Obviously I'll look for hydraulic leaks as well. Thanks for watching. So this twin disc conversion has taken me a few goes to bleed the brakes, and I finally did it. I would say it took me a good day and a half to get it done. And the secret I found on the Ducati Pantar forum, which basically said, when you put the calipers on, make sure they're full of fluid. So I basically took the calipers off, pushed the pistons out, confirmed they were full of fluid to the best of my knowledge, and it turns out they still had some air in them. So I used my syringe and rotated them and did. This loop was a big air trap, so I pulled the caliper off, held it up, sucked all the air out, and I've done multiple bleeds on both sides. I would say I've put like half a pint of fluid in. I've got a decent brake. It needs some love. I got a feeling I'm going to ride it and still probably come back and have to do a little bit more bleeding. I just think that's the case. Oh, my throttle stopper is... Yeah, there we go. So, these have got the old pads in. I've cleaned it all up. I've sprayed degreaser all over it. Much to the chagrin of the paint that was on there. Some of that's come off, but I think it was pretty much like that when I got this bike. I'm now going to push the pistons back, put the new pads in and pull the pads out so new pads are down there, so they didn't get fluid on them. We'll drive the pins out, and I think we're there. It just needs using now, bedding in, and I'll leave it like that so that the path to hydraulic goodness goes that way. Anyway, there we go. That's it. That's what I'm at. If the worst comes to the worst, what I can do is put a fitting in there instead of using this U if this becomes a problem, and then just move the pressure switch out that way, because then he'll do a pressure switch that could replace that one. I mean, the boot needs replacing anyway, but I don't really want to do that because that means doing another, although that would probably fit. I wouldn't have to make another hose, but I would need a new fitting there. But anyway, that's where we are. So finally. So here we go. This is post-ride. I actually took her out for a bit of a spin yesterday to see how things were going. And let me just focus there. I need the plastic covers over the top. I know I'm missing those, so they'll go on, but that's about it. It's really good. It's now, you know, I'm back to two-finger braking like a modern bike. Rather happy. I know it's a bit of a pain to get there, and bleeding the system was a challenge. I actually ordered new fittings so I could come up to the block here, replace this with a smaller modern one. This is the brake light switch, front brake switch, and then I can run this lead up there. Yeah, that's it really. So she's ready to go. I will contemplate getting some well, I've got a bag to put over, but the Guzzi is going to be my ride for Bennington. And by the time you see this, Bennington will be like in the past by 5 or 6 weeks. But yeah, that's it. So next episode is going to be about getting the BSA ready. I've got a primary leak. I thought gone through it once. I thought I'd fixed everything. Clearly I haven't, because I've got a primary oil leak. Anyway, hopefully I've timed this and set this up right. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. I hope you enjoyed the journey with the Guzzi. We're on to something new. There will be more riding videos coming now. It's summer. Because I'll be riding and not mechanicking. That's the goal anyway. All right, thanks very much.